Hey, welcome to Will I Continue Anime, where we break all the anime rules. I'm your ecstatic host, Mary Gamer. Let's get to talking.
I have to say, before you, no one else has ever asked the goddess of reincarnation to become their follower. It took me aback at first, but I kind of liked it.
What the heck, previous me? Were you out of your mind?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Will I Continue? I have my very good friend Ish joining as a special guest. What's up, Ish?
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Hey,
My name is Ish. Sorry there.
No, you're good, man. Tell me about yourself. What do you love about anime? I know we talk about anime quite a bit sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So what do you love about anime, man? Just
To be honest, mainly the fact that it just you can create scenes and things from imagination that you cannot create like otherwise. I grew up on it since I was like in middle school. I'm 29 now, so pretty much like my whole life almost. It's I think like it started from like Naruto, and then it was like all downhill from there.
downhill. I mean, nowadays I don't know. I mean,
pretty
it was
much,
up here or downhill?
it was upward. It was,
Gotcha.
but yeah, honestly, like I have met a lot of people that share the same interest, but I do remember it wasn't as popular to watch anime, but yeah,
Yeah, that's.
it
I
was
think.
awesome seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much like I think almost everybody. What Toonami for most people, right? Cartoon Network, Toonami, Adult Swim.
I think so.
Hitting those, late night. Parents don't know you're up. Like, oh, I feel bad. I'm a bad boy, right? I'm gonna watch
and
stuff.
you had to wait. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you had to wait till specific time for
Yep.
that. It was like, yeah, it had its own magic back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but pretty much just I love most old genres as long as it has good plot. You know, I tend to lose interest in an anime if it becomes too overrated. However, as long as it has a good plot, good writing, action, preferably has some comedy in it, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty much like I would say like every genre, as long as it's decent.
Yeah. No, I'm saying with you. Sometimes things that are like mainstream, I know. Okay, I say this. I'll say this that there's some things I don't care for because they are mainstream, but there's a lot of shows I do watch that are mainstream at the same time. Because there are a lot of stuff like MHA. My Hero Academia, Chainsaw Man. But see, I started reading Chainsaw Man before it became anime, which I fell in love. Me talk about Chainsaw quite a bit, right? So
Yes.
that's such a good manga.
It is.
That's an
It is.
anime or manga? I don't know, but yeah, manga and turn anime. Now, of course, and Chainsaw Man has taken some hits critically, by, some critics, but just as an anime, I think it did pretty well, to be honest. The visuals.
I think so as well. I
Yeah.
think so.
I did feel like they did push like some of the story along quicker than we did see in the anime, but I feel like that's kind of the norm with some mangas turn animes because I guess they're trying to hit points where that are more exciting to keep the viewership going. I'm assuming because not everything in the manga was exciting, but it did cover some of the details of backstory. A little bit more of why they're at certain places, their powers, so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, dude, yeah, mainstream. I can see a lot of it is overrated. But I mean, it's also mainstream because younger kids like it, or younger adults, I guess. Just yeah, but I'm with you. It's some things that are overrated. I don't care for as much too. I totally understand. But yeah, man, thank you so much for introducing yourself, and thank you for coming on as a special guest, man. You're awesome,
No,
bro.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, anytime. So today for Will I Continue, we are going to be discussing Black Summoner. So with everything like every other episode in the past, I'm going to just kind of get a snippet of the Wikipedia that I have the first paragraph of the Wikipedia from Black Summoner. So, Black Summoner,
All right.
has some Japanese. Kuro no Shikunashi is a Japanese light novel series written by Dofu Maoi. I give up pronouncing names. It began publication online on the Shosetsuka ni Naro novel posting website in October 2014. Overlap began publishing the series with illustrations by Kurogen under their Overlap Bunko imprint in June 2016. Oh, wow. I didn't realize this that old. 2016, 2014. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A manga adaptation with illustrations by Jin Amo began serialization in Overlap's Comic Gardo website in January 2018. An anime television series adaptation by State Light aired from July to September 2022. So, this is a very, very recent anime. Well, I would say very recent. Almost 6-7 months ago. Yeah, if my math's right. I'm probably off on that, but yeah.
It was 2022.
Yeah. So, that's fairly recent. So, man, the beginning of this anime, it just like every isekai almost. I mean, it was kind of the same. It feels like, right? Like, oh, they died, and then they go through this point where they're talking to somebody who's reincarnating them, or they're just reincarnated, right? And the whole ordeal with how they kind of made his character like, oh, he talks to the great goddess. What was her name? Melfina, the goddess of reincarnation. Way he kind of was introduced, like he kind of like just fell in love with her, right? It was like, whoa, how can you fall with a goddess, man? You just meet her. I mean, I guess she left him, left a great impression on him, right? For falling in love. I mean, what did you think about that? I mean, that whole little beginning piece.
I don't know. I think like it has I've seen it like before in other animes to where usually like it's the love from first sight type thing,
Yeah.
you see. I've seen like in other isekais, but so like it wasn't that different, but at the same time, like um her like you can tell as soon as you meet the character that the you can tell that this is going to be one of the main characters pretty much going forward. It was dramatic, but like I said, I did see it before in other animes. It's like one of the repetitives in anime, I would say, especially if the characters, like we said, either like a princess or a queen or angel or something like that, where like it has grace. There's always that you meet her from the first time and you already like you're fell in love pretty much.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. See,
But
I haven't seen that many
so
isekais that where they did fall in love with the first person I met. Wow. Okay. I must be missing out some isekais. It's like you fall for a woman, then I want you to become part of my party group. It's
yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like I mean she was pretty much using him though, right? For just to get out of being a goddess. Like, come on now. I mean, what were you doing for centuries? Oh, I was sitting here, reincarnating everybody. Okay, I wanted a break.
So about that, I know Chainsaw Man is not supposed to be the focus, but like the latest it's not really a isekai, but the latest like similar feeling I got was whenever he met at the beginning he meets what's her name, Makima.
Yeah.
Whenever he meets her and he's like
Falls head
as
over
soon as
heels.
she comes there and then he literally just goes there and they have from there brainwash.
Yeah.
Like, so like that's like the kind of feel I get.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole
But I
trope of falling in love with I haven't seen a woman forever, and then the first one's actually somewhat pretty, and then I want her, right?
oh, that's it.
The whole trope.
Man, I wish like shonen protagonists were
Hmm.
like smarter for a little bit. Usually like there's the main protagonist is a little bit,
Hmm.
more on the brave side, and
Hmm.
the reckless side if it's a shonen, and there's always a smart subordinate who at least tells them, hey, you should do that but not this,
Yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I kind of see what you're saying. I kind of think that's how Malfina was. Um, Granted, she was using him a little bit, but she also kind of made it to where she knew that he loved her so much that, she was, I'm going to help you. And also, oh gosh, what was it? So she knew he loved her. She knew she could kind of like tag along because he'd allow it in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of weird that I can only come out. I can only be like, so he's a summoner, so he can only summon her. And so I forget what points he had to get right. So many points, magic points or whatever, right? Experience points
Yes.
to summon her. But she's like, that's supposed to be his goal, so he can get stronger, right? That's the whole gist in the very beginning. It's like, I'm gonna stronger. I want to see what she looks like. She might be some hot babe, or who knows. She might look like a little girl. Some how animes are, right? So it's like, who
Yeah.
knows what she can look. But that's the whole, I think, tease in the sense in the first episode. Other than, of course, like he's going out. He's super uber powerful, but in the beginning he's uber weak as well, right? So he's trying to like figure out how this world works. So he understands he has got a couple of abilities that helps him out, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's just I feel like that's kind of almost sums up the first episode. I think.
Yeah, pretty much like you said.
Yeah.
He starts off, just it reminds me a lot of MMOs. Like
Mhm.
whenever you start playing like an RPG, you
Mhm.
start with like the smallest, the weakest mobs, which is in most Japanese games, it's like slimes.
Mhm.
They're supposed to be like the weakest creature
Mhm.
in MMORPGs, and honestly, that was the main reason why I actually wanted to. I think I wanted to watch the show in the first place,
Mhm.
because when I saw slime and in the trailer, I immediately wanted to watch it, just because I
Mhm.
had a really good impression from um, that time I got reincarnated as a slime,
Oh, which is
and
good.
yeah, which was
Mhm.
amazing. Like, because it's about a slime. It's supposed to be
Mhm.
the weakest
Mhm.
creature, but as you
Yeah.
go is something different.
Yeah. We can probably do that on
But
the next episode, maybe, if you want to.
for sure, it's actually one of my favorites.
Mhm.
But what I would say is that how he started, like just like farming small mobs, trying to gather experience,
Mhm.
a little bit by a little bit, trying to grow, and that's actually what kind of makes me, one of the reasons why I would say makes me want to continue to see how broken this character will be,
Mhm.
because throughout the other ASIC we already have an idea of,
Mhm.
hey, this character gets reincarnated and eventually leveled up.
Yeah.
um, what is the limit to uh, and what's the power ceiling to this character,
Yeah.
and I honestly, I want to know what are all the followers, and
Mhm.
how many can he gather eventually.
Yeah.
What's the limit on his summoning,
Yeah.
um, and what is the strongest creature he'd be
Yeah.
able to tame or summon.
So
Actually, that is one of the main things.
So they actually kind of, well, skipping a little ahead, but they actually kind of touch on that a little bit. So whenever they, like when the next person, so we'll go into this real quick too. So when we're
Yeah.
talking about summoning, he's creating contracts with all these creatures. He doesn't kill them. He knocks them down to lowest HP to where he
Mhm.
crests for them to pretty much make a contract between him and themselves, and he's basically the master, and he can summon them whenever they want to. So he comes in the world as an S class already. So with that, we found out that when since he's an S class, he can actually make that creature. Well, I think you said before, and we were talking previously, like they'll double the points, right, or whatever.
Mhm.
They get stronger
So
if they make the contract. which is
That's
freaking
right.
cool, right? Even we saw the slime
That
that
is
you're
right.
talking
So
about.
apparently,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, go.
I just gonna add to your point
Mm-hmm.
where the double points is actually only one of the stats he one of the passive skills he has.
Mm-hmm.
So since he's a S tier
Mm-hmm.
summoner, every creature, no matter how small, weak or strong they
Mm-hmm.
are, they get double their stat point.
Mm-hmm.
If they have 100 attack, they get 100, and so on.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
which
pretty
which
cool.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think about it, if you had like someone that's like 50 or whatever, like level 50 doubled to 100 instantly almost. That'd be
pretty
crazy.
pretty much,
Yeah,
pretty
they're right.
much. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. Like
Um,
imagine you're like you have like a small creature like slime, and but
mhm.
everyone's like slime is too strong,
Yeah. Yeah.
compared to the other slimes, just because he has double stat for
Yeah.
everything.
One cool thing that I did really like this,
Yeah,
and I'm a softie. So whenever so we were talking about the slime, he actually creates a contract with the slime, and way he treats his I guess followers, right? His contracts, whoever he makes a contract with, he has a soft spot, and he actually treats them fairly well. It seems like, right? So that's one
that
pretty
is yeah.
cool that I liked about him. So Calvin is not Calvin. Kelvin is his name, is the Black
Kelvin.
Summer's name, and I like his character so far in this in the beginning. We find out he seems kind of a little arrogant in the beginning, right? Because well, I don't like he's I don't like my past self, because eventually he had his memory wiped. So there has and he's a and then and he has no idea how Melfina, how supposedly he fell in love with her. He's like, why would I fall with her and to wipe my memory? But of course when he did that, he gained extra skill points. Like, okay, how much skill points did you really get? But whatever, right? Maybe that's his S class, how he got his S class. But yeah,
Not sure, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, but one thing I did like is his character. He seems like a decent guy, right? So maybe his previous life he was
he
a
does,
decent guy. So that's one cool thing I like
especially
about him.
for that world. That
Yeah.
world, like, is actually, I mean, at the beginning, you get introduced when you get introduced to that world, you
Mhm.
get to see that, you know, he is surprisingly nice because he treats his followers
Mhm.
or the creatures he summons as a part of his team.
Mhm.
Where like in the world, you get to know that slavery is pretty much normal, and
Mhm.
everybody just partake, and which is messed up. And
Mhm.
that's actually one of the big points about the show, is like tells you, hey, this guy is like not like that.
Yeah.
He's not treating his followers as slaves. um where like it's like you can tell he has like a bond type,
Mhm.
instead of it being like a uh you know him just owning them.
Yeah. Very much so. I got a gist even that he's kind of reminds me. You've seen Shield Hero, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually it reminds me a lot of that.
Right, that's what got
Hmm.
me too. Is like, this this way you were talking about this, the slaves. There's a scene where he sees that there's a guy selling slaves, and he's kind of got this eye on the elf that's a rare, right? I got this elf for a good price. She's very rare, He kind of looks at her, and I feel like she's going to be part of his crew eventually, just like how Shield Hero was kind of written. So I feel like that girl, the elf who's in slavery and the chained up, she's going to be part of his
Hmm.
group eventually. I feel like. So you're with the whole, like, we found out how decent he was. Um, Also, when he had to disguise himself, right, as not being a black summoner, because we found out that basically he's like the
Yes.
only S class summoner out of like all the other
Yes.
nations. And other nations in Mafina touch on like B and C classes summoners.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had to lie, right, of who he was when he signed up in the
Yeah.
Adventurers Guild.
Also, yeah, also in that world you can inspect someone's like stats and see like their levels. However,
Mm-hmm.
he has a skill where he can like hide his um I forgot the skill name, but it has a name
Mm-hmm.
where he can hide his summoner
Mm-hmm.
like level,
Yeah,
so they cannot actually
yeah.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
um
oh crap, what was that?
Smoke or something, I don't know, something like that.
Concealment, right?
Concealment, yeah,
Something
something like that.
concealment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
It was something like that. Also, what did you think about the slime's
this-
evolution?
oh yeah,
When
that was so cool. So
yeah.
basically, slime. It went from what was it? The slime. Oh, hold on, I'll look at it real quick. Slime. Um, glutonia. Glutonia.
Plutonia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
That
dude,
was
like,
not bad.
that
Yeah.
was pretty sick, man. Like
Yeah.
that's right before he gets into that whole fight with the big ghost Black Knight or nice Black Ghost Knight. Yeah, that was so cool, man. Um,
Yes, I agree with that.
oh gosh, that I wish they kind of they touched on it a little bit, but I wish they would show him evolve a little bit cooler. They just showed him kind of got bigger and rawr, basically, kind
Yeah.
of sense. I think they could have done a little more
Well,
than that in animation.
yes. Well, the main thing that the whole vibe of the creature
Mm-hmm.
changed. Like it became from being like, the small friendly slime to being like this, scary,
Mm-hmm.
scary slime. It almost reminded me of like, what's that Pokemon? Is it,
Digimon
no,
or
it's a
Pokemon?
Pokemon, the one that mud? No, was it?
I don't
The
know.
the the mud. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know much about. I know a little bit about Pokemon, man. I don't know a lot.
But yeah, it reminds me a lot of it whenever it I think it was called Muk, like MUK,
Gotcha.
if I'm not, yeah, Muk or Grimer,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, pretty much that is also, like I said at the beginning, is one of the reasons why I would recommend mm, continuing it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just for that's just for me, is that I
Mm-hmm.
would love to see what kind of evolutions
Mm-hmm.
in the future that's going to happen, especially with if not the slime, but for the
Mm-hmm.
other follower uh, that he's gonna acquire like in the
Yeah.
future. Because imagine if that's just a slime that's getting evolved. So imagine if he like makes a contract with like a dragon or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. How would it evolve? Like
Yeah.
you
So
know,
so let's kind of get into that other episode. We kind of touched on. So we talked about like how slime glutonia evolved. So there's a small little thing like we like the guy Cashel. I think it was like Cashel. What was
yes,
his name?
yeah,
Cashel.
Cashel,
He's
I
a
think.
yeah.
Cashel,
He's a
yeah.
complete dick. I'm sorry. He is. He's a complete dick. I mean,
There's always that one
yeah,
guy in an
yeah,
isekai
yeah.
that pisses you off.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always one guy.
Yeah.
But what do you think about him?
So the guy, of course, the reason I say he's a dick is because he's just so backstabbing. He's so sly. He's so arrogant. He's so cocky. He's so like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy, because everybody kind of knows when he goes in the adventure, signs up for that. What was it? I forget. He finished a job, and then we get introduced to Cashel, whatever his name is, and everybody knows
Cashel.
he's just a arrogant guy who's up to no good. Always causing. They know he's no good, basically, right? They know he's mischievous and all that jazz, right? So
Mm-hmm.
with that, I mean, he's like, he tries to Calvin to come with his crew, and oh yeah, you come with me, and our crew will go after this big, this castle where it was, and then we'll fight this big
Mm-hmm.
creature that then was the ghost Black
Yeah.
Knight, right? And the funny thing is, little does Cashel know that he can read people's like he has that
Yeah.
ability to scan or whatever
Yeah.
he's doing with them, right?
So he can tell that, hey, this guy is trying to trick me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Yes. And
Um,
one weird thing is he saw he's a murderer. I mean, what? What on earth? How do you get that murder sauce? I mean, it's kind of, he already knows there's no good come out of this if he joins.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah. So I don't like this guy. Just the way they drew him too, the animation. He looks sly. He looks
Yeah.
like a dog. You know what I mean? Not like
Yep.
physically. He's got that charming, arrogant look. Oh, something's wrong with this. Picture.
Yeah. You can tell by the way he's portrayed in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if, in my opinion, I don't think he's gonna join ever. Like, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you see bad guys, you can tell they may have some human left in them, where they may change it.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I don't think this guy will, and I won't be happy if he did, just because
Yeah.
I don't think like anything justifies his actions or
Mm-hmm.
the way that he wanted to trick, you know, the main protagonist.
Yeah.
His goals are arrogant. He just
Mm-hmm.
wants pretty much control and power,
Yeah.
and self fulfillment pretty much. Mm, I don't know. I would say even though like he's not like the craziest villain I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
it's just his personality, like you said, is very irritating.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, pretty much like it's your classic. It's I feel like he may not like be, you know, he may not be that, you know, strong, but his definitely his evil in a sense is like like it's incomparable, like especially when he knows, when he can tell like he's a murderer
Mm-hmm.
by reading him.
Yeah. I think he said it was a level, I think 35 or 53. I'm
35.
probably transposing numbers somewhere.
Let
Can't
me
think.
check actually.
Yeah, because he's not actually a weakling, but compared to what Kelvin is now, because he can conceal his actual. And the funny thing is, too, talking about concealment, we find out that Cashel, he has his crew and they're all hoodlums, basically, just jerk of the jerks, killers almost. It sounds where he's a murderer, and his buddies are the same way. And the guy, I forget the guy, his name, that the guy who's supposed to be able to read, he said, "Oh, I can't read him. I couldn't get a reading on him, so I don't know what he is." And then yeah, it's just one of those things like, oh, they know something was up with also Kelvin as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't that great, and also that the baldy dude reminded me of Mr. Clean for whatever reason. I was like a tan to Mr. Clean. I was like, what?
Wait, what was his name? The
Oh,
was it Raj? I
I
think
don't remember. It
no,
might
yeah,
be
Raj.
Raj. Yeah,
The guy that was like blind in one eye.
yeah. I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was Raj.
Raj. Yeah,
Raj or Raji or something like that.
yeah. The
Yeah,
dude
Raj or
was.
Raji.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the dude always. I don't know. I was like, in my brain was going, "Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean," did it or something.
They
I think
made
the
him
song.
look really funny.
It
They
did.
made him look really funny.
I
Yeah.
know. Oh man,
Um, but yeah, I think Cashel, um, but I think he's like a D rank, correct?
I forget, to be honest with
Um,
you. I just remember like
yeah,
3-5 or 5-3.
yeah,
I don't remember.
yeah. I think 34. I think 34,
34.
something like
Okay,
that.
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think he was that. I mean, I think like only his sword mastery is like higher than his rank, probably, but everything else is still not strong. He's just like we said, just very arrogant. He's
Mhm. Yeah.
is honestly also another reason why I want to continue watching this show is I just want, to see, you know, characters like him just lose pretty
Yeah.
much.
Right. Well, basically, he did. He got the snot kicked out of him, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
remember
yeah,
so basically when they get to there's a castle, of course, and then they actually do it, and then of course Kelvin knows what's going on basically. He
yeah.
pretty much
They ambush
surprises them.
him.
Yeah. And then and come find out he's actually pretty strong as crap, man. And he ends up just throwing out his. That's when we meet Slime Glutonia, and they kind of go the brief background what happened a few days before or whatever. That
Oh yeah,
the slime evolved into this uber powerful Slime Glutonia, which is pretty cool. I like the way they animated that character. But like I said, I feel like
yeah,
they could have done a better job of how he evolved, or it evolved. I should say
yeah,
it evolved. But yeah, and then they try to ambush him, and like he beats the snot out of all of them. He whips out these,
yeah,
even though they're low class or low powerful magic spells or whatever they call it, right? I think he like put the mud, the ground made mud. He made the ground mud for Raj, right? And he just gets trapped in there, and then it's just the
yeah.
guys are just freaking out, and the guy who can't read them runs out and gets ambushed by Slime Glutonia. That's hilarious, man. This dude acting
That
all
is,
cocky.
yeah.
Oh man.
And like you said, yeah, it would have been better if the slime like evolved like more.
Mm-hmm.
However, we got to keep in mind there's still episode 2.
Yeah.
So for future, I'm pretty sure like just by knowing
Mhm.
isekais, there should be a lot more interesting
Yeah.
evolutions.
Mhm. I hope so.
Also, in that same setting,
Uh huh.
we get to see the Black Knight. Was Spirit or Ghost? Spirit,
So I think
Black
they
Ghost
did.
Knight.
So basically, the Black Ghost Knight. It's actually a person, but they would go the
Yeah,
backstory of him, of course. But I don't remember because he was still traveling around, right? I don't remember like his old town got cursed by an elf because his king didn't want to side with the elf. I think it was elf.
mm,
So he said, if you don't do this, a great tragedy is going to happen. Well, the whole entire kingdom pretty much falls. Gets sick,
mm,
whatever, and then the knight loses his wife and child, and the king, of course, goes, and then he just, I think he got cursed. I think he's the one who got cursed, I believe, and I don't know if he's a real ghost or what, right? But something happened to him. I don't remember them going into it, which I kind of wish
I'm
they
pretty
did.
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it is. They kind of like implied it. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
He's just stuck in that state, and that's what I like also about this show. That he kind of, like we mentioned at the beginning, he formed like a bond
Mm-hmm.
with this, character,
Mm-hmm.
where we get to know more about them. They're not just like a random creature.
Yeah.
We get to know their story. We get
Yeah.
to know their background. We get to know like what brought them here, what they want, and what's their story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just like the Black Ghost Knight, which is honestly like that scene was badass. Whenever
Yeah.
like I know like it could have been made differently and all that, but it was kind of badass. Like
Yeah.
I like the first meeting. It was really nice.
Yeah.
I
Tell me about
like
the black. Yeah.
how confident the main character was
Yeah.
in the first meeting. I love his confidence. Like you
Yeah.
said at the beginning, you think he is arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
However, it just turns out to be more of a confidence rather than
Yeah.
arrogance. Like
Right.
he just won't. He's not out there to just make people feel bad, or
Mm-hmm.
like say, oh, hi, I'm like better than you or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. He's just out there. He knows he's doing the right thing, and he just knows that he knows that if he puts the hard work, or if he wants to do something like he hard enough, he will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, pretty much like you get to see that, I feel like, throughout the first two episodes, where his willpower seems to be like probably his main strength, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
um like I feel like that's for most shonen, but
Mm-hmm.
it is very too visible with him. Like you said at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, he does seem a little bit arrogant at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, but
He
it's confidence.
yeah, like I said, confidence. He actually has morals and values. What it seems like
Yeah.
he goes by,
Hmm.
just like how he's like wanting to get the Black Knight to just join, right? So the guy wouldn't do it, but basically he had to fight him to gain his honor almost, and to where he would. Dude, that was a pretty cool scene, battle
That's
scenes, man.
that's badass. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was pretty
Yes.
sweet, man. Like the dude got
Hmm.
like he's so the Calvin starts knocking the crap out of him, and then that's when he gained his memory, right, as to what
Yes.
happened. So it was like, oh crap! Then after that, he got even more powerful, but even then, he still could not overcome Calvin's wit and power, right? Pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Also,
Man. That's
that
pretty
tells
cool.
you something,
Mm-hmm.
that Calvin is not just your classic like summoner. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're familiar with summoners, it's usually just a guy who keeps like hiding behind his creatures
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. He doesn't actually like go and fight, and
Mm-hmm.
or like is usually like not as courageous.
Mm-hmm.
But you know you see Calvin like going in, like
Mm-hmm.
he's just like in the battleground.
Oh yeah.
Which is something I appreciate seeing, summoners do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, honestly, if I had to say, based on the first two episodes, um, I see a lot of potential
Yeah.
for this show.
Oh yeah.
What
So
do you think?
so yeah, I agree. So let's go into this because we'll go through this first part. So what was the
Yeah,
most you liked about it so far? Or
about
yeah.
the show in
Yeah,
general,
in general.
or
What do you like about it so far?
okay.
What's got
So
if
pros. Okay,
yeah.
so like I said, like we mentioned, first of all, the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the personality, like the confidence of the main character
Mm-hmm.
actually is very appealing. Going forward, that's a high pro, like, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
The way he forms contracts is more like a party
Mm-hmm.
rather than, I owe you, I own you
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. That's also, another pro for the character, the main character
Mm-hmm.
point. Um, Another reason why the main character is a pro for me, I
Mm-hmm.
would say, is um, how he starts. Like, I don't know how to relate this point, but I feel like I want to see where he reaches.
Right.
I want to see like how overpowered and
Mm-hmm.
we're we only saw 2 episodes and we see how strong he is
Yeah.
already. So
He's very
you know
OP.
isekais,
Yeah.
yeah, isekais, and
Mm-hmm.
characters usually get strong after the first season, like
Mm-hmm.
like get the big power up. So
Yeah.
I honestly, that's one major reason I want to see the main character's character development, and
Yeah.
it adds up to the second point, which
Mm-hmm.
is the followers. I want to see how many followers he gets eventually,
Yeah.
and what is his limits
Yeah. I,
on
yeah.
on the
I meant
yeah,
to touch that real quick.
and
I meant to
mhm,
touch this when we were talking earlier. So reason why is when you saw the slots, right? So there's actually seen
yeah,
this the screenshot or image. There's actually 7 slots. It
oh
said
yeah,
7 slots on. I forgot to tell you that. Yeah, if you
oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, there's actually seven
I, I
slots.
I
So
completely forgot
yeah,
about that part.
yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, just I remember we talked about earlier. I meant to mention that
yeah.
earlier.
So yeah, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
now that we know it's 7 slots,
Mm-hmm.
see, who will take all those 7 slots.
Right.
Yeah, and what's their evolutions, just like the slime, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just the weakest, creature. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine the stronger creatures and how's their like awakening, or like how's their evolution. That's another reason why I want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say mostly those two are the big reasons. However, another reasons that I feel like would appeal to other,
Mm-hmm.
but especially the episode 2,
Mm-hmm.
there was a really good scene, like we mentioned earlier, with the Black Knight.
Mm-hmm.
It like everything was amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's just well drawn, well animated. Like
Uh oh. Think I've lost him.
but I usually I'm an OST person, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember if the opening was good or not, to be honest.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, like I said, those are the main points.
Yeah.
But also like the bad guys. I'm not gonna lie, I love the guy in the second episode that we talked about, Cashel. Made my blood boil enough to where I like the fact that he got, defeated.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, it's very. I feel like everything is well drawn, and the character development definitely is very appealing. And I feel like, unlike other isekais, like I know me and you
Mm-hmm.
said something about the slime evolution wasn't as powerful as
Mm-hmm.
expected. It's still faster than actually other isekais. Like I feel like other isekais, the character is not as OP like second episodes like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can already tell like he's strong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like another reason I would say is that I really like it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, it's also like all together, all rounded idea. If
Mm-hmm.
you just like add all the 3 points that I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
it's all like all rounded together to one idea, which is the setting and the
Mm-hmm.
actual storytelling, and the plot is just, it's just on point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like everything is beautiful, the
Mm-hmm.
world is beautiful and well drawn, well made, well imagined. Um, like pretty much like all in all, if I had to
Mm-hmm.
say, I would I would continue watching because of the plot and the
Gotcha.
storytelling.
So, just to let you know, I lost you a little bit, but I'm gonna keep everything in. You're good. I lost some internet. You're good, man. But yeah, so I pretty much agreed with most of what you said, but from what I've heard. So let's do this. So what it seems like you've been pretty much saying throughout the whole episode. I already kind of know what you're gonna say. Would you continue?
Yes.
Yes.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason why I wouldn't, I'd say, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's like it's because it's an isekai, and for
Mm-hmm.
me that is a big thing.
Yeah.
It's not me. It doesn't mean that I don't like isekais. It
Mm-hmm.
means that I'm pretty sure you did as well. But I've watched like a lot of isekais, so an isekai has to be like legit good for
Mm-hmm.
me to continue watching it, and it
Mm-hmm.
has to have something where other isekais, like it's not just the same thing, rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least like like I see most of them are. However, the power of the person usually is the different thing. So in this case, he's a summoner, and he would
Mm-hmm.
gain like more followers, um, and evolutions and things like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
honestly, Pokemon, it reminds me a lot of Pokemon as well. I was gonna say because he
Uh-huh.
weakens them up and then he makes the contract type.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
I would.
Sweet.
Definitely, it is a good watch. It's a
Mm-hmm.
short watch. It's only 12 episodes
Mm-hmm.
of good quality animation, good
Mm-hmm.
fights, good storytelling,
Yeah.
colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, pretty much like everything that you would want in an isekai.
Yeah, I'm same way, man. I'm gonna continue. Like it's got me hooked. I know we didn't touch on this before, but the guild receptionist adventure,
Oh
like,
yeah, the color.
dude, I think so. Yes, I'm gonna continue, but yeah, I think Angie. I think even though his main goal is to get Malfina out because he's trying. That's the reason why he's getting stronger to get this in peace to see what she looks like. But I really do believe that him and Angie, the guild receptionist, they're gonna have a thing. I feel like, and I'm curious of how that's gonna interact with how Mafina's gonna get jealous. She already seems like a jealous goddess already, right? She already got her fingernails in into Kelvin, right? So I'm kind of curious
Mhm.
on how that's gonna work out because the way she looks at him, or the way they're kind of creating the chemistry between Kelvin and Angie already in a little bit, you can already see a tiny bit of it. I feel like they're gonna fall for each other, or they're gonna have or there's gonna be a love triangle, right, between Melfina
Mhm.
and Angie. I feel like, and then that's just one of my predictions. Is like also I think Kelvin, and I don't know in this season. I don't think he's gonna get Melfina out this season. I feel like
You think so?
they may not. I think in some of the intros they kind of gave it away, maybe, but I'm not for sure. But I have a feeling, even though I don't know. I don't think we will, but we may, right? So I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna get Mafina out this first season. But
Mm.
yeah, I'm definitely. I thought it was great. The animation's great. I love the how they were drawn, like how they were walking, all the couple of battles we've seen. Even the smaller battles were decent, especially when it's fighting the slimes in the very beginning. That was kind of funny. Um, but yeah, like all the powers he has, like the wind power and the even the small things like um how he's able to summon and create the contracts, and how he's able to like have the creatures get like really powerful and stuff. I think that's super cool. So yeah, I'm
Yes,
definitely
yes,
down to watch the 12 episodes for sure.
yes.
Um, but yeah, I'm so with you on this. But yeah,
Also, sorry to interrupt,
no, you're fine.
but
Interrupt away.
while I was looking to
Mhm.
find like the first 2 episodes, I did see some season two
Mhm.
uh autofill
Mhm.
on the search, so
Uh
I
oh.
would assume there's a season two upcoming.
I hope
Um,
so.
yeah. So
It looks good.
yeah. So honestly, it is a good show. I love
Mhm.
when an anime is like 12 episodes and it's just
Mhm.
it's just season two or
Yeah.
like so on.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good easy watch.
Yeah, I always think like 12 episodes is a good bingeable, like amount of episodes you can go through fairly quickly. If it's 24, it feels a little lengthy, little long, long in the tooth, I should say, right? But it's I think 12 episodes out of a lot of animes is the magic number right now. And I think it's binge worthy for sure. If anybody, I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but I think this would be a really good bingeable watch. I think you said we talked earlier. You looked at the ratings, right, or ranking, or the ratings of it, right, from IDMB. What were they? Do you remember?
The rankings
Yeah.
were around 7. Like if I had to average them, is around 7.5,
That's pretty good.
7.6 total.
Yeah, that's not
But
bad.
yeah, so they start from like 7.4 and they keep
Mhm.
going up. I think
Oh,
the
nice.
episode before the last one is like an 8.0.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it tells
That's
you
pretty
like
decent.
it gets really good. Like episode 11 is probably
Yeah.
like a big fight or something,
Yeah.
and episode 12 is literally I think 7.8, which is still high.
Mhm.
But it's not according to reviews, it's not as good as the episode before it.
Oh, okay.
But
Gotcha.
I am excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited to check it out. I want to see if he's gonna gain or how many followers he's gonna have before the ending of season 1.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, thank you so much for doing this with me. It's been a
No,
blast, man.
thank you.
It's been awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm glad you had me over. For sure. Next time, if you want to maybe bring up Slime, I will
Yeah.
be glad to talk about it
Yeah.
because it is one of my favorite shows ever.
if you've already seen it or seen it all the way through, we can do like an entire episode on it because I think I'm on 3
Yeah.
or 4, maybe 5, the 5th episode.
Episode?
I think. But yeah, I
Yeah,
watched it.
I
I
would
think
say-
about halfway.
Yeah, if you want my honest opinion, you should watch till episode 11 or 12 before you decide whether to continue or not, because that show gets really good.
Really?
It's like a straight, like, linear, like way up.
Yeah.
He keeps gathering people and things like that. But honestly, I think like we should talk about this like on a whole new episode one day,
if you're-
because
yeah, if
there's
you're up
so
for
many
it, yeah.
theories behind this.
So yeah, man, if you're like I said, if you're up for it, yeah, we can get together again. But we can talk
Awesome.
about we can definitely talk about that more later on. But yeah, man, thanks. Like I said, you've been great. Thanks. It's your first episode with me, and you're awesome, man. It's been a great talking to you. So you might see Ish on the next episode. Sounds like, so we'll see what happens.
Hopefully.
But yeah, hopefully, yeah. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks
everybody.
again, Ishmael, and yeah, we'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.